Hello, it's me. So, the British government has U-turned on digital IDs. I'm quite proud of myself, and not purely because I signed the petition, but because I signed the petition with so many others. That's what makes me proud. We're told constantly that petitions don't work, and I kind of agree, but in this case, there were over 3 million signatures attached to that petition. And the force of opinion on the matter really couldn't be ignored. Jeremy Corbyn used to bang on about the fact that localisation was everything in the modern government, rather than the centralised model that we currently have. And I used to think he was a bit, he'd missed the mark slightly. But now as time goes on, I realise that he's absolutely correct. Because local issues for local people are really important. They're the lifeblood of a community, and they shape how that community moves and grows. And the system of local accountability has been exposed now as effective, which was, one assumes, why everything was centralised in the first place, to remove local agency. As we know, democracy is supposed to work from the people upwards. But if everything is centralised, no one's listening to those local issues. Problems occur. And over the last 20 or 30 years, we've seen many problems occur. Time and time again, we hear political heads tell us, refer it to your local MP. But it just seems like a futile exercise because so often, especially with this liberal left Labour government, those local MPs were ignoring the issue. But guess what? Local MPs in other areas weren't. And so now we see constituencies who had MPs with other ideas challenge the government on behalf of their respective constituents. So, the die is set. Now we know the system works. It may take over 3 million signatures, but now we know. And that knowledge is indeed power. Our job as citizens is simple. It's clear. We have to come together. We have to communicate, to mobilise, and, more importantly, organise within the digital ecosystem. Make that system work for us for as long as we can. Because I'd love to tell you, we won! Everything's sorted. But of course it's not. Digital IDs has been on the table before and defeated. And you can bet your bottom dollar it will be again. When I talk rather conspiratorially about the power behind the throne, that there are powerful people who use governments to shape our lives, not as you would normally expect the government doing it. This rather proves my point. Certain issues will not go away. And for all the bleating that Conservatives do now via Kemi Badenoch over the dispatch box, they're two cheeks of the same arse. To which, reform. Nigel Farage and reform. Many people have hung their hat on it because he's a loud voice. He seems to be making all the right noises for the British people, and yet, as time moves on, we kind of see ourselves looking at reform becoming a new and unwelcome element of the uniparty. This being the rather inexorable draw that brings in parties who, on the face of it, appear to be one thing, but as they gain power and become more popular, seem to tip over into establishment territory. If I remember correctly, Ant Middleton was Reform's choice for London Mayor. And I thought that was a good idea. Anything to disrupt the current political zeitgeist is welcome. But no, he's been shelved now in favour of somebody else, who many people are saying is weak sauce compared to Mr. Middleton. And that, for me, is one of the many alarm bells going off around reform. I stated quite some time ago, many months ago, that I thought reform was more of the same. And it appears that I might be right. I hope Ant Middleton gets the mayoralship of London. Because more importantly than just rocking the boat, he will do much, I think, to expose a lot of what's gone on under the current incumbent and his staff. Reform is not the way. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The person you should be voting for is the person the mainstream media is vilifying. The more horrendous the attacks upon that person, the more likely they are to be the real force for change that this country requires. Do let me know what you think in the comments below. Do like, subscribe and share if you'd like. I'd really like to grow this channel, and I very much hope for your support in doing so. So, until next time, do look after yourselves.